No one used the last train anymore. It still ran every night at 12:07 a.m., but no one in Graywick took it. Not after what happened 5 years ago. Not after the passengers disappeared. Ethan didn't know that. He had just moved to Graywick for a new job and didn't own a car yet. So when he missed the 11:30 bus home, he stood alone on the empty platform, shivering under flickering yellow lights, checking his phone. That's when the old train rolled in. It moved too quietly. No screech of metal. No horn. Just a low, deep hum that vibrated in his chest. The doors slid open. Inside, the lights were dim, glowing a sickly white. The seats were old, cracked, and stained like they had been used 1,000 times and never cleaned once. But there were people inside. They sat perfectly still. Men, women, even a little girl holding a stuffed rabbit. All of them stared forward, eyes wide and unblinking. Ethan hesitated. This goes downtown, right?" he asked. No one answered. The air inside smelled like coal dust and something rotten beneath it. Still, it was the only way home. He stepped inside. The doors closed behind him with a soft hiss that sounded too much like a whisper. The train began to move. Ethan took a seat near the door. As the train picked up speed, he noticed something strange. No one moved, not even to breathe. A man across from him had tears dried on his cheeks. A woman clutched her purse so tightly her knuckles were bone white. The little girl's rabbit was missing one eye. "Hey," Ethan said quietly. "Is everyone okay?" Nothing. Then the train lights flickered. For just a moment, the windows went dark. When the lights came back, the outside world was gone. There was no city, no buildings, no stars, only endless black. Ethan stood up. "Okay, that's not normal." He tried the door. It wouldn't open. A voice came over the speaker. Not a normal voice. It was layered, like many people speaking at once. "Next stop, last passage." A woman suddenly screamed. It was loud, raw, and desperate. Her head snapped toward Ethan. Her eyes were no longer human. They were sunken and dark, like deep holes burned into her face. "Don't let it take you," she whispered. Before Ethan could respond, her mouth stretched open far wider than possible and something dark poured out of it, like smoke, and dragged her back into her seat. She froze again, silent, still, like nothing had happened. Panic flooded Ethan's chest. He ran down the aisle, shaking people, yelling for help. They were cold. Not just still, cold like bodies in a morgue. The little girl's head slowly turned toward him. "You shouldn't be here," she said in a voice that sounded like it came from far away. "Where is here?" Ethan asked. "The place between where you were and where you're going." Her rabbit suddenly twitched. Its stitched mouth pulled open. Inside was a row of human teeth. The lights went out. Something moved in the darkness. Something big. Something breathing. Ethan felt warm air brush his neck. "Ticket?" a voice whispered. He turned. A tall, thin figure stood behind him. It wore a conductor's uniform, but its face was wrong, stretched and cracked, like a mask pulled too tight over a skull. Its smile was too wide. "Everyone must pay." I don't have a ticket," Ethan stammered. The conductor tilted its head. "Then you'll pay another way." The passengers began to move, slowly. Their joints cracked as they turned toward him. Their eyes were empty now, like burned-out stars. They reached for him. Ethan ran. He ran down the train, pushing open doors that led to more cars, each worse than the last. One car was filled with people crying silently. Another had passengers covered in blood, staring at their own reflections in black windows. Another was completely empty except for piles of clothes. At the end of the train, he found a door marked "Exit." He pulled it open and was hit by freezing wind. Outside was a long platform in the middle of nowhere. The sky was black and red, swirling like something alive. Behind him, the conductor was coming. "You can't leave," it said. "You're already on the train." Ethan jumped. He woke up in his bed, drenched in sweat. Morning sunlight streamed through the window. It was just a dream. His phone buzzed. A news alert. Man found dead on Graywick train tracks at 12:07 a.m. The photo made his blood turn to ice. The man lying on the tracks had Ethan's face. And somewhere far away, the last train kept running, waiting for its next passenger.